It seems that these days, a lot of young people, I'm talking about maybe millennials who are not married yet, or the next generation, which are the Z generation. It just seems to me like when I see some of them on TV and see what's going on, even though, even my kids' friends and whatnot, a lot of them have problems. You can say problems, or there seems to be angry, a lot of anger, a lot of protest that's going on. Because, youth, the young people are most vibrant, they have most energy, so they should be enjoying life the most, right? So sometimes I don't know why it is that these days a lot of them seem to be angry, or they're living in sorrow or grief, or they want to protest against something because of the anger. So what would you advise to young people today? So when I was growing up, my preacher, pastors, and even my parents really wanted me to read Book of Proverbs because, young people are easily influenced, I guess. You could say that. And we want to make sure that young people go in the path of righteousness. So you got to read Book of Proverbs because, it's a book of wisdom and knowledge, how important it is. And I just read an article about the 10 advices that Book of Proverbs gives to young people. And about 5 of the 10 was about, fearing the Lord, obey God, obey his commandments, listen to your parents, obey your parents, obey your authority figures, all those kind of stuff. And it would be wonderful and great that if we were to just, sit people down, young people down, and just say, obey and do this, go to school 8 hours a day and study afterwards, and don't go out with your friends too late. I don't know what people would say to young people. And make sure you stay out of trouble. Those are, I guess, all good advices and whatnot. But I don't know if that's something that young people could take and say, okay. So if you look at Book of Proverbs, you could say that it was a book that was written by Solomon when he still had black hair and black beard. Ecclesiastes, on the other hand, it was either, some people think it wasn't written by Solomon, but definitely his influence is there. And it's something that advice that was given by somebody who has lived his life. So you could say he has gray hair and gray beard. I'm going to a point where I'm starting to get, I already have gray beard, I'm starting to get gray hair as well. So the wisdom between those black beards and versus gray beard, they're totally different. Solomon, when he was younger, you could say, yeah, obey your parents and don't do anything stupid, stay out of trouble, obey God, fear the Lord, very specifically do this and seek wisdom and knowledge and things like that. Well, in Ecclesiastes, he says something that's somewhat different. He said things like, what good is wisdom and knowledge? Seriously, what good are they? They're totally meaningless. Because generations come and generations go. And I already made a video pointing out the fact that if Solomon was the wisest man that has ever lived, he really did screw up with his children, right? Because his kids take over the kingdom and just totally ruins it, right? So what is the advice that Ecclesiastes has to young people? It is somewhat different than Proverbs. Once again, Proverbs is about who you listen to, fear God, obey the rules and things like that. But in Ecclesiastes, it says something like, it says this on chapter 11, listen, and especially if you're young people, millennials, please listen to what the word of God says here. It says, rejoice, O young man, in your youth. Let your heart cheer you in the days of your youth, right? Let your heart cheer you in the days of your youth. Rejoice in your youth, because this is when you have most energy, right? This is when you're supposed to have most passion for life, most curiosity about life. And it is so sad sometimes when I see all the protests and the angry videos that I see, and it's like, well, people just complaining left and right. They want to protest against this person, that person. Whether they're being influenced to feel that way or not, I don't know. But definitely a lot of people don't seem to be, let's just say their heart does not cheer them in the days of their youth. That's definitely so. And then he gives you this advice. right? Walk in the ways of your heart. Walk in the sight of your eyes, right? Follow your heart. Go after what you want in life. But at the same time, know that all these, when you do these things, will bring you into judgment. Meaning sometimes when we follow our hearts and our sight, it doesn't lead us into something that is good. So it will bring a lot of grief and sorrow. I like the word in Peshitta when it says vexation of the spirit. I really like that. Your spirit is filled with sorrow. And that's what it seems like today. Because a lot of people are being influenced in a way that makes them do things that bring more grief to their spirit. So they lose it. So they're not rejoicing in their youth. Right? So the advice Ecclesiastes has is, therefore, remove sorrow from your heart, put away evil from your flesh, throw those things out, and follow your heart and decide that will bring you to in a good relationship with God. I really think people should get back to God and their relationship with Jesus Christ. I really do. People's been following science and politicians to solve problems of the world, and it's just getting really, really bad, right? People are just hating on one another. We gotta bring the love of God back into society. That's what I think. So remove the sorrow of your heart and remove evil from your flesh. Get back into a relationship with God. Let the Spirit of God, instead of grieving the Spirit, right? Let the Spirit of God lead and guide you in the path of righteousness, whatever they may be. I think we should trust the young people that they know what is right, that their heart will lead them to the right place, that they will see what is good for them, right? Because it says, for childhood and youth are vanity. It's meaningless. It is fleeting. The times are short. Everybody knows that. Maybe young people don't know that, but everybody should know, when you're old enough to know, they're only in their youth for a short period of time. Why are we putting so much pressure on them, making them, become angry through our mistakes as adults? We make mistakes as parents. We make mistakes as society. We bring issues to them that they should stand upon, even though they don't know anything about the issues about life. Right? They just pick one group and say the other group sucks, and they're just angry and things like that. Put away the sorrow, put away the anger, right? And rejoice in your youth. That's a great advice, I think. It really, really is. And that in the relationship with God, it will put you in the path of righteousness, and all things will work out for good. Have faith, right? Have faith. I think that's a great advice. I hope a lot of young people take it. It is something that I tell my kids to do. Follow your heart. Go in the sight of your eyes. Trust in the relationship that you have with God. The Spirit of God is within you. He will lead and guide you. He will express himself through you, and rejoice in your life. Go live out your passion, right? And they will do good. I'm a believer of that. God is real, and he wants to have a relationship with young people, right? So rejoice in your youth. That's a good advice. Anyways, God bless you, and I'll see you next time.